What's up, guys? Your girl Luca here. Lucatio, yes, the Ashen one, the Ashen Lucario, the Ashen Luca. It's me. I'm here for another episode of the show, and for the first time in quite some time, I'm actually here by myself. I hope you guys can hear me. Um, I was having some issues with my mic, and I keep buying like the wrong piece of equipment. So every time I try and get a new boom stick thing, mic holder or whatever, it just doesn't work out. But let me just listen. Hold on. Yeah, I sound good. What's up? Oh, Connor, it's always good to see you, buddy. What's up, Meat Puppet, Spencer, Gregor, the finest, Arcade, TZ? What's up? What's up, guys? What's going on, guys? Hope y'all are doing pretty good today. Let me just go ahead and tweet the show out. Twitter, the Starfield pronoun debacle, Bethesda game does Bethesda is game design need to evolve. This is actually perfect because I had asked that question on Twitter and I got a bunch of responses. So we have stuff to discuss and stuff to talk about today outside the pronoun stuff. And yeah, let me just go ahead and pin this now. All right, cool. Okay, so let's go ahead. I feel like everyone just forgot about me in the show, and that's why no one is here. But that's okay because I too forgot about myself. Um, what's up, Ramon? What's up, Latex? I also forgot about the show. I mean, I remembered it, so I didn't forget, but still. All right, let me do the tags. The Ashen Luca. The Ashen Luca. Oh, yeah, not too much actually happened this week, I don't think. I can't believe. I mean, I can believe it, but some of the things that like occurred this week are so silly, and I definitely have a perspective on it. That's for sure. Okay. Starfield, Bethesda Game Studio. Okay, I'm just happy that I actually have something to talk about, dude. For myself at least. Okay, the Wokies. All right, let me save this. Okay. Let's see here. Just go ahead. Sorry, guys, I'm just doing some last minute stuff. All right. Okay. Great. Great. We can get it in. All right. Nola, Ripper, Drew, Lionel, Geek, Autumn. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about the Starfield pronoun debacle. So there's this guy. His name is Heels equals. Okay. Hold on. Heel versus Babyface. His name is Heel versus Babyface. I actually knew about this guy before he went on his rant videos because I like to watch. Um, I like to check out different perspectives when it comes to the culture war, you know what I'm saying? The there's definitely something to be said, and I do think that both sides offer interesting perspectives, but both sides also have a bunch of nut jobs. So it is fun to see them and listen to their perspective. So I knew about who he was. I knew who he was before he had his little meltdown about the pronouns, right? Now, I mean, I'm assuming that most of you have heard about this, the pronoun debacle. Oh, not the thumb. Yeah. I'm assuming most of you have heard about it. I don't think I need to play the clip because it's been like everywhere essentially. But basically, at the beginning of Starfield, they ask you what okay, I don't know what language they use exactly because it was so inconsequential to me. I just chose the body type and then the pronouns and moved on, right? But you choose your body type. I don't think they call it male and female anymore. I think they do like body A, body B, maybe something like that. But whatever it is, you know. But one of the options was what pronouns do you want your character to be referred to? Is it she, her, he, him, or they, them, right? Now, I saw this and I was just like, okay. And I moved on with. my life because I personally, um, don't care, you know, it's not something that, like, affects me or bothers me in any way, mostly because it's just, like, I've had non-binary friends for a very long time. I'm talking, like, at least a decade. So, this isn't, like, a new concept for me, it's whatever, right? So, for me, like, referring to someone as they, them isn't, like, a problem because 'cause I've been doing it for, like, 10 years, right? With my friend Alex and then my friend Kai. Um, so it's, like, whatever, right? So I just moved on and I kept it moving. I was like, I don't care." But because a heel versus babyface is heavily involved in the culture war on being the, anti-woke, being on the side of the anti-wokes, right? Uh, he had a very different perspective compared to me. He had a bit of a breakdown and a meltdown, and, people got on his ass about it. He's all like, "I can't have an opinion now." It's like, it's not the fact that you have an opinion, it's the way you expressed yourself. You ended up looking very silly in my opinion. He looked silly, right? Um, can I understand his perspective? To some degree, yeah, this concept of I mean, it really sucks, huh? It sucks when, you turn on a piece of media and you can't find yourself, right? It sucks. You feel like you're being replaced. It sucks, doesn't it? I mean, like I said, I have a hard time empathizing because 'cause I grew up watching content that didn't feature, like, young black girls very often. Like, don't get me wrong, I watched certain TV shows. I watched, like, Living Single, Martin, Family Matters, that kinda thing, but it wasn't something I was like it's not something I saw a lot. A lot of the media I consumed when I was younger just featured, um, straight white men, straight white women, you know? So for me, I just kinda like I got used to it and, it doesn't bother me. I don't care. I don't need to see myself in a piece of media to connect with it. I feel like it's very I don't think there's anything wrong with people wanting to see themselves, of course, but for me personally, it's not something that's ever, bothered me. Like, I connect more with themes and character traits and personality quirks that the character may display versus how they may look, right? Like, their skin tone or, um, their gender or sexuality or anything like that. So, for me, it's just like, whatever. So, I you get used to it, so you just move on, right? Now there's been more of a push in the last 5, 6 years or so, for more diversity, definitely, especially during the pandemic, and then everything with the George Floyd and the BLM stuff, like, it definitely blew up there, and there's been more of a concentrated effort and push from Hollyweird in order to, get that stuff in media, right? Still doesn't come close to like, if you compare the shows that feature diversity versus the shows that don't, there's a significantly higher I mean, there's just more shows that don't feature diversity, So, it's just silly whenever people are saying, "They're overtaking everything, they're in every piece of media I consume." Like, Succession wasn't just a fucking smash hit. Like, Yellowstone isn't a smash fucking hit. Like, come on, man, what are you talking about? There's still plenty of media, or you're not gonna see any of that diversity shit. That stuff that, makes you gag, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's just it is what it is. He had his perspective. He was talking about how it's infecting every aspect of media that he consumes, and, he comes home from a long long, hard day at work, and he sits down, and the last thing he wants to do is be bombarded by fucking pronouns. Fucking gender ideology, that kind of stuff, right? Now, like, again, I ran I thought it was funny. I thought it was hysterical. I got a big kick out of it, but I always get a kick out of watching people, um, lose their minds when it comes to stuff. Like, whenever people get angry and freak out about stuff, I tend to find that very funny. So him having his little meltdown, I didn't care. Like, it didn't That also did not affect me in any sort of way. I was perfectly fine with him feeling however he felt because it's, like, inconsequential to my life as a whole, you know? But, it did spark debate and conversation. I watched this video by this content creator named Endymion, and here's the issue, right? When you are a content creator who makes content that is specifically aimed at one group, whenever you try to, offer some diversity of thought, folks get on your ass about it. You know, your people don't want to hear any of that shit. They came to you for one thing and one thing only, and that is to validate their feelings on whatever issue it may be. So if you come through trying to have a measured opinion, people will not appreciate that. People will not respect that, and they'll give you a hard time about it. And that's what happened with Endymion's people. He offered a very measured approach, in my opinion, on his initial video about what had happened. He was all like, "Yeah, it's pretty dumb, but I just chose my pronouns and I moved on, right?" But because he had a neutral and measured opinion and he explained himself quite well, he did a follow-up video, like, the next day, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Oh, I can't be a fence sitter. I can't be in the middle about this stuff. I didn't want you guys to think I'm siding with the wokes. I'm sorry." Like, literally got his balls in a fucking hold, you know? Over here, backtracking on his measured, normal opinion. Like, he had a normal fucking opinion, right? Normal as in what we in society, like normal people who don't like who are not Twitter's not fucking real. Let's start there. Twitter is not real. Rarely do things that happen on Twitter actually affect anything. Example, people were hating on Doja Cat because her fucking boyfriend is a allegedly did some things to some teenage girls, right? So people are over here like, "Cancel her, cancel this," like 100,000 likes, 10,000 retweets, all this shit, right? But then she was, like, charting number 1 when she released that fucking "Paint the Town Red," which is a trash song in my opinion. The song's trash, but, like, the shit that happens on Twitter isn't fucking real. Like, these people, they come through, they have whatever opinions, whatever perspectives they have, and then they move on, right? So this shit's not real. So, you know, he changed his quote, he didn't change his mind, alright? He still has the same opinion, he's just gonna keep his little mouth shut from now on because, again, diversity of thought is not allowed when it comes to these camps. You are either all in or all out. There is no middle ground. There is no middle of the road. You have to take the side that you've planted you put your foot down, you're like, "I'm on this side, therefore every opinion I have is dedicated to this side. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I am 100% all in when it comes to this particular perspective. And the thing of it is, if you really think about it, when it comes to personalities, when it comes to feelings, they evolve. We as humans, we are not black and white. It is not. We do not think in black and white. It is impossible to actually find someone who has black and white thinking. It's the same as this. You get someone who's like, "I'm anti-abortion." Yeah, I am against that. But then their daughter gets pregnant and suddenly they're not fucking anti-abortion. They're like, "Yeah, let me go ahead and get my kid a fucking abortion." Like, what? So of course there's like some semblance of an ideal, and I'm gonna project these feelings and thoughts versus reality and what happens in the moment, you know what I'm saying? It's like the people who claim that they would never do something or that, again, example, the Act Man, right? Now, he's been doing a lot of hemming and hawing and, getting pats on the back for his taking the quote unquote right side, right? But homeboy was in the saying racist shit, saying homophobic shit, you know what I'm saying? And I get that people grow and change, and I'm definitely an advocate for that, but the dude, he's not actually sorry about what he said. He's sorry that he forgot to fucking delete it, right? But he was someone who was all like, "Oh, these PlayStation guys are so fucking toxic and negative, and they're doing this and that," and he was just over here saying the most vile shit, you know? The same with, like, some other people in the community coming through, like, "This person is racist and I can't believe they would say such a thing and blah, blah, blah," and it turns out they said the same shit. They said the same fucking shit that got it was insane seeing all these people get exposed for the same fucking shit after claiming like, "Oh, I'm better than this. I'm better than this. I am not this person. I'm not this person." But then it turns out, yes, I am this fucking person. So, he had his little rant, had his little opinion. He's now saying, "Well, it wasn't just one thing. It was a accumulation of all these other things and blah blah blah." But here's my thing, right? Unfortunately, when you when you express yourself in a certain way and the topic seems inconsequential. The topic seems inconsequential, and then you blow up about it. People are gonna look at you a little sideways. There's gonna be a couple people who are like, "Bro, I can't believe he's freaking out over some fucking pronouns," right? Even though allegedly that wasn't the crux of his feelings or whatever. But like, yeah, um, he had his little freak out, and he was just like, "All right, man, that is what it is." So, how do I feel about the pronoun stuff? I don't give a shit. I will say this though, there was, some news that actually just came out about Nexus mods. I watched some videos on it, hold on. Now, here's my thing. I am also of the mind that, yes, if something doesn't actually matter, then why are you placing such emphasis on it? Like, there was a mod that came out, right? They are removing any Starfield mods, um that allow you to to remove pronouns from the game, which is so fucking stupid. Like, intrinsically, inherently, we all have fucking pronouns. Like, it's just part of the English language, you know? It's dumb, but they want to I'm assuming they're trying to remove the he, him, they, them, she, her. Now again, you sing a Lord have mercy. It's part of your character creator, right? It's there for maybe a second. Maybe a second. Creating an entire mod to remove that shit, I think what do you smell? I smell bitch, honestly speaking. Like, that's pathetic that you need a fucking mod to remove something that lasts for, like, point zero seconds, right? Now that being said, if the pronoun stuff is not that big of a deal, then why would they even remove the mod? Like, as dumb and inconsequential as the mod is in itself, this concept like, "Oh, actually, it's not that big of a deal, guys, but we're going to delete any sort of mod that offers someone the ability to remove the fucking pronoun." So, I think it's weird. I think it's weird. But again, it's community driven, and there are they've made their decision, they made their choice on it. I just think all in all, this entire conversation, this entire debate and debacle has just been very silly. And at the end of the day, this is just how it's gonna be. Like, now, if you listen, it's not my media. It's not any product that I'm fucking selling. Like, if I was someone selling any sort of product that got some backlash, I'm gonna be like, "What how do you feel about that? Let's discuss." Because the only color that really fucking matters is green, you know? But as someone who is on the outside and I'm just viewing this from this angle, the way I feel about this kind of stuff is like, you got to speak with your wallet 100%. You got to speak with your lack of participation 100%. Now I'm not solely just speaking on heel versus babyface because he played the game. Like, he's playing the game, so it's whatever, right? But I'm just saying, like, when it comes to, like, these other forms of media that are quote unquote being being exposed to the woke mind virus and being overtaken by the wokies and diversifying and intersectionality and all that, like, like it's some kind of awful disgusting thing or whatever, right? Just don't watch. What's the saying? Go woke, go broke. I mean, that's not the case. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real with you. It's not necessarily the go woke portion that's the issue. Now here's the thing. There's we'll use Barbie as an example. The Barbieheimer thing definitely, like, that's an example of Twitter pushing something to the positive. Like, that shit fucking worked, dude. That shit fucking worked. And, it's like one of those rare cases where, yeah, okay, something on Twitter actually panned out, right? Barbie is has a lot of themes that are considered woke or whatever, blah, 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 whatever, right? Anyway, Barbie features a lot of, interesting themes, and it would be considered a woke movie by these people, right? But the shit fucking did crazy well. Same with Across the Spider-Verse, that's considered a woke movie. They had the Protect Trans Kids flag in it. Love My Trans Kid pin that, Gwen's dad was wearing. Uh, Miles is mixed, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that's considered, like, a quote, unquote, "woke film" to these people, right? Because of all the diversity, but at the end of the day, the it still fucking did well, right? Now, the only time this concept of going woke doesn't work is if the product itself is already trash. If the content that you're putting out is garbage and you're using identity politics as a way to push it forward and there's no substance there, there's no depth, that's where the whole go woke, go broke becomes a thing that actually fucking matters and makes sense, right? So, I you gotta speak with your wallet, you gotta choose to not entertain certain things. There are certain things that I myself, like, I'll see and I'll be like, I'm not fucking watching that. I'm not watching that. I'm not giving my money to this." And I don't make a big fucking deal about it. I say, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just not gonna watch it. I'll move on, right? Like, I'm gonna keep it moving." Like, it's not something that requires my energy and attention, but then again, I am not an anti-SJW YouTube channel. So, this is how these guys make their money. It's a grift. Who knows? However, who knows how these people actually feel? I'm sure, like, dude, I could go on an anti SJW fucking rant, dude. I could do that every single fucking video. Um, and because I'm a black woman, are you kidding me? I get pats on the back, fucking gangbusters. They'll be like, "Oh, we got one." We must not be awful because we got one who feels this way and she's black and she's a woman. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man, be for real. But I don't because I'm very apathetic with a lot of this stuff, right? So, what I'm saying is like, yeah, I could go on these rants about it and then turn the camera off and be like, "Woo! All right." Anyway, moving on with my life. Like, fucking support certain other things in my free time, you know what I'm saying? So, I just think I think the entire thing is silly, and I don't have any feelings about it. It is what it is, man. Alright, let me go ahead and look at these comments. Okay, what's up, Sean? Alright, Spencer Blackjack, Hurricane Dread, Elysium, Retro Gaming, Breeski, Drew, Karan, Phil, uh alright. Those black hair options are fucking trash, dude, but it's Bethesda. It's Bethesda, dude. Um the thought is, was he him? Did he feel the need to look for something to get enraged about? I think so. How come diversity only applies to Western countries? What about Japan with anime and K-dramas? No one complains the lack of diversity from those countries. Um, I think it's because the West is hailed as a diverse country, you know? It's a melting pot of different cultures. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what it is. Um, yeah. I mean, man, what's her name? Is that Beth? Right? But Beth is listen, that's one bad bitch, man. I like her. Anyway. What's up, East Side Mountaindale? What's up, Ake? The problem with being in the middle ground, you get dragged by both sides for not sticking to a team, which is dumb as hell. Yeah, I'm definitely not jumping on one side or the other. There's no fucking way, dude. It's just I'm not doing any of that shit. I have no interest in any of that. What's up, man?
Yo, what's good?
What's goody, my boy?
Chillin'.
All right.
What we talking about?
Talking about that dude, who freaked out about the pronoun shit.
Oh yeah, that guy. I didn't even watch the video. I just I saw the description of it. And I was just like, "Yep, gonna skip on this one because you're a moron, guy." And just, but it's just like they, I, in the description of the video, it said that he refused to play the game, like he didn't go any further,
No, he played the
right?
game.
Oh, he did. Okay, I
Mhm.
was just
I
like,
think he
but
put, like, 25 hours in. Might be more at this point.
mm, it's just what is people are dumb. It's just it's you can disagree with them including that, but then like to freak out the way these people are, just like what's wrong with you, yo? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get these people. It's I said it. I did lunchtime with Slow Mo last Wednesday, and I was just like, yo, you're just a moron. I'm sorry. I guess I just don't have any. I'm too old now to pretty it up for people. No, you're just an idiot. So
Yeah. No, I mean, that's fair.
slow mo. What's up, Autumn? I
Right, what's up,
mean,
Carlos? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right, Lionel. I have a hard time being fake, man. Yobi, good to see you, buddy. Uh, I'll have to fight for a side when the Civil War starts. It okay.
Yeah, our society is not. There's not gonna be no civil war.
I mean, if
It's
they're
not happening.
yeah, listen, these people have fucking Twitter fingers. These people are fucking asthmatic, afraid to what is it? Agoraphobic? Is that the shit where you're afraid to leave your house? Hold on. Yeah, these people are
Agoraphobic.
fucking asthmatic, agoraphobic, fucking losers who can't hold a conversation and can't hold eye contact with normal society. And you think there's gonna be a fucking civil war with these
Ain't
people?
happening. Nope.
That shit's not happening. At least the people who are gonna be on quote unquote our side, uh, we're gonna get fucking railroaded, man.
Here's the thing, though. I saw this video. I saw a lot of those people really upset at this video. This guy did a skit video where it was like he was like, yeah, let's say if there was ever a time where the people think they can overthrow the government with their like their AKs and whatnot, like let's just have a little competition where there's just like one soldier against like 50 of them. And he said, and he had the one guy on one side, and the guy's got like ballistic missiles in a button, and he's just like, are we really going to do this? Because this isn't even fair. I mean, they're all just standing over there, all clumped together. They're just like, oh, just start now, okay? He just hits the button and they all die. Like, you gotta understand, the government got stuff that like no, the rest of the world hasn't seen. The
Yep,
government can the way when this government goes to war, they don't go to war fairly. Like, this isn't the Civil War back in the day where everybody lined up and the first row was on one knee and they all took turns firing. No, it's not happening, bro. They're going to just press a button and your
yep,
whole property
and
is
it's
no
over,
longer
dude.
going to exist. It's going to be a
So
parking lot. So
I
just
yeah, like these people are not to mention the obesity rates have fucking skyrocketed. You're gonna put
exactly.
those people in a fucking
It's like
fight? Like, be for real, man. Be
you
fucking
were not
serious,
ready
man.
for this.
We are like the softest fucking generation when it comes to that concept of being in a fucking fight, man. You know, bro, most people are too fucking lazy to get off their ass and go to the store and pick up some food for themselves. They
Like,
do
bro,
that's why do you think Uber Eats and DoorDash is so goddamn profitable, man? Like, come on,
you
man, be for real.
just because you go larping on weekends doesn't mean that you're ready to go head to head with like with not even the National Guard. Like, come on, bro. Like,
Maybe
it's
yeah, just be serious here.
be
It's
for real.
silly. So, like I said before, I said that I laughed. I thought it was silly. It's not that big of a deal in my opinion. That being said, on Nexus, they are making a concentrated effort to delete mods that let you skip the pronoun stuff. Now, I personally said that if it's something that's not that big of a deal, then why are you deleting mods associated with it, right? Because it's just something that's supposed to be natural. Now, I also said if you need a mod to delete something that's on screen for like 1 second, you're a fucking loser. But still, I think it's one of those things where it's like, well, what is the truth here? What do you think?
I'm sorry, I was just looking at people
Bro, I'm not repeating
thinking
myself.
thinking that I was saying they're gonna nuke their own. They got stuff that is devastating to an entire like city block, but it's not a nuke. Like, come
You
on
didn't
now.
say the word nuke.
I sure didn't. So come
So
on. All right. Yeah, that's why I wasn't paying attention.
I'm
What
not
are we talking
repeating
about?
myself. Go ahead and rewind the fucking tape, my boy.
I'm not doing that either. So I guess
All
we're in
right,
a
we're moving on
stalemate.
then, I guess,
I
Anyway,
guess we can move on to the next topic.
yeah, so Jesus Christ, man. Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, Autumn, yeah, listen, there's some spooky mods on there. Any spooky mods, like genuinely spooky mods. I'm talking things involving children. Get that shit out of there. Um, Anything that's like blatantly prejudiced, get that out of there. But something as simple as like a fucking mod to remove the pronoun options, that's dumb. So
Oh yeah, the mods that on Nexus mods, and I think Nexus mods removed the mods that were doing that, which good for them. If you don't, if there is mods for content that you don't believe in on your platform, it's your platform. It's not a free platform. I mean, it is a free platform for people to freely get the mods, but it's not a free platform where you have to host any and everything under the sun. So you have a standard, and if certain things don't match your standard, then you get rid of them. It is what it is.
yeah. I said that I think it's dumb that they remove the mods, but it's also dumb that the mods exist in the first place because it only takes 1 second to choose whether you want to be he, him, or she, her, or they, them, or any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I like there's people who they're just so against the concept of the pronoun stuff. Now, okay, here me personally, there are certain quote unquote neo pronouns that people use. I'm just like, bro, I'm not calling you Zer, Zim. I'm just not happening. I'm not calling you Faye Fem. I'm not referring you to you any of that stuff. There's
Wait,
this
what?
Yeah, there's people who want to be referred like that, right? There's even this profile where someone asked to be referred to as an it. I'm just like, that's just not happening, dude. It's just like you want to talk about dehumanizing. It's just not fucking happening. So I'll use your name if you're trying to use some neo pronouns, but I'm not doing any of that shit. But you know how simple it was for me to be like, I'm just not doing that shit and moving on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as for the they them, for anyone who new who came in, the non-binary stuff is not new to me. I have been friends with this person since I was like 20, named Alex, and they use they them. So I've been referring to them as they them since I met them. So it's not a new concept for me. Therefore, like when I saw it in the game, I was like, okay, that's new in the sense that it's new to gaming, but it's whatever. And I moved on. It wasn't that big of a deal. I just because I chose she, her, and I moved the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
um, all right. I said on Twitter that my pronouns are scum, bag, scum/bag. Those are my pronouns. I think I saw Erica earlier. Erica, if you're still in the chat, mother, it's good to see you. But yeah, it's just like I said before. It's a fucking it's a grift. It's the culture war. It is what it is, man. And that's just how I feel about it. Now, I also Cassie Cassie did this video on Twitter and she was telling people to go fuck themselves. Let's see here. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Hmm. No, well, Don Julio took a while. It's been a while since I've seen that
I'm
guy.
on Hulu. The
Someone
hell?
changed his profile pic finally. Like, this is what? Where you been, Don Julio? This man has been gone for like
Good to
3
see you, buddy. Hope
years.
you're doing well.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, um, When I started seeing they them on applications and tax forms, I was thrown off. It's still jarring to me. It's on applications and tax forms. I know that they ask you for your pronouns when you go to the doctor's office. I didn't know it was like there. That's cool. What's up,
It's at our
Nautical?
job. What up, though? It's at our job too. When people fill out their application, it's there.
Mhm. Nice. Autumn said mine is bad bitch. Exactly. You rep yourself, queen. I know that's fucking right. So anyway, Crispy, good to see you, buddy, as well. Viz, Payne, Leaky, Stone King X. What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Go ahead, hit that like button. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna play that Baldur's Gate, and I'm gonna be a chick. I'm gonna give myself a dick, just like I did in Cyberpunk. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because that's just how I want to play the game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, man.
As you actually did that?
For Cyberpunk, yes.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
Mm-hmm. Is it
That's what's
like?
up.
Is there any reason to have it? Does it change anything? I don't think so. It definitely
It
did
really
in
doesn't.
Cyberpunk. So
No.
Just
you know,
I don't know. I think when the option for he him came up, I was like, oh, it kind of stood out at first, and then I was like, oh, moving on. It's like literally one screen and a 100 to 200 hour game you're gonna play, and who really matters? Who cares about it? But
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
But what I'm
yeah.
saying is the screen is there for 2 seconds. You know, this isn't a case of a safe space and Snowflake. What?
Well, I mean,
What's the other
Right.
character's name?
well,
Snowflake?
Yeah, Snowflake, yeah.
Safe
But
space and
I
snow
don't even
fucking flaking.
recall. I'm like 30 hours into the game, and I don't recall anyone acknowledging my character by a pronoun anyway. They always say,
no, I think it's just
like Lynn calls you Dusty, which I think is probably already a.
because
I'm like,
you're a minor.
what you calling me? Yeah, but I'm like, man, look, I'm not a minor no more. Can you start calling me Dusty?
Well,
But no, like other
that's
people
Maybe you
call
don't
you like
shower. I'm sorry.
Vanguard
true.
this and Vanguard that, and depending on what your faction is. So like, I never hear the pronoun anyway, or maybe I'm just not paying attention. But yeah.
Now, I always look at stuff like this, like oh man, because half the stuff I don't care about. But it's like, for the most part, it's like they want to give people a way to identify for themselves in whatever they want to. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Now I can see if you're using it to single out individuals and stuff like that, then that's where the problem starts. But for literally to be an option in a video game, just because it is like tailor made for your experience, just because it's there, just because you may not care about it, doesn't mean the next person may not care about it. And it gives you the ability, like you said, in Cyberpunk. Does Cyberpunk give you that? I haven't made the character creation. Does
Yeah,
Cyberpunk
it gave you an option. But
so
like
it
I
gives
said,
you that option. So you can put a dick on your character if you want to. So
Yeah.
it be a girl. It doesn't matter.
So somebody had said, one of these grifters said that if it doesn't show up in the game, then what's the point of having it? And I can actually understand that standpoint as well. Like, what's the point of having the option if it never pops up in the game? What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is a valid question. Like, why is the option there if nothing ever happens that actually requires it to be needed? Like, it's not changing any dialogue. It's not. There's nothing with that choice that you put in there that actually changes anything for your campaign or anything like that. So yeah.
But this is the thing though. How do we know how many people actually went out there and made a male character and said that they're, she, her?
Well, I'm just
and
based
the
it off
dialogue.
of. I haven't
and the
noticed it
dialogue
yet.
options can give you options like where a person might say him or something like that, and it might pop up a dialogue option that says, I am not this. You never know what could be in the game, because it might be something like that that's super subtle. Because I have like female friends that go by he, him, and I'm like, and I worked with her and I had to get used to it. It
Work with
literally
him?
took, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I had to get
Yeah.
used to it for like 6 months, because
I'm just
when I
I get
looked at her,
what you're
I see it. So I would say him, I would say she, and then she would just correct me all the time about it. I'm like, you know what? My fault. Then I finally got it after like
You
6
should have
months of
just
doing it.
used his name.
Well, her name is Shannon. Same as mine.
So here's my thing,
So
right?
it felt like I was talking to myself every time I said it.
I hear what you're saying, like this concept of it being subtle, but so far from what I've heard from everybody, no one is referring to you as a he or a she or they.
Well, yo,
in your
you're
dialogue.
right. You're right.
So what's the point of like? What's the point of having it? Is it supposed to be something that's like intrinsic, like your hair color? No one mentions your hair color or your eye color. But that being said,
that might be where it's going at this point.
Pronouns is about like dialogue. You know what I'm saying? Like it's about speech. So is it pandering? Absolutely it is. Who gives a shit? I mean, people give a shit clearly, but
and then the crazy thing is that no one cares. Like not no one cares, but the camp that they're pandering to doesn't acknowledge it, because if you look at Sterling's Stephanie Sterling, I think that's what they go by now. The review of Starfield, it was acknowledged in the review that they did that. It was like, oh, so you're just trying to throw this at us as if that's going to change what you've done, which I don't know anything what they've done, but whatever. Like, it's not changing anyone's opinion. It's essentially
exactly that. I hate that pandering bullshit. I do. But not enough to freak out about it like he did in this particular instance. I think it was an overreaction, and on my opinion, I know it wasn't just that. He also ran into this character. Shit was so damn funny. He ran into this character who was a clone of a dude. I guess spoilers for Starfield. And he was really pissed. He's like, "How dare they?" You know. So it was it was a bunch of stuff that like came through. But he just ended up looking very shallow and silly because of it. Now, don't get me wrong. Here's my thing, and I mentioned the Act Man earlier. I can't fucking stand those people who pretend like they're so above it all, but they've done and said super spooky things. That weirdo Hassan Parker, something. I don't fucking know what his last name is, but that dude, that big streamer Hassan, the dude who wore that Eat the Rich shirt, even though he's super ridiculously rich.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's a cuck. All right. I have literally heard him on stream. I've seen videos about him where he's arguing with a trans person and he's all like, he's misrepresenting them and making them look bad. And he says to this trans person, he's like, "You're literally just a trans person. Your opinion doesn't matter." Like he says that, but he's one of those super leftists. He's one of those super libs. He was one of those people. I'm so scared of my audience disowning me because I want to play Hogwarts Legacy. Like he's a fucking he's a clown. He's a clown. He also, I think he said America deserved what happened with 9/11. You know, I gotta verify that. But
what?
And then
Wow.
And then his uncle,
Throw that dude under
who's
the
on
bus
the
now.
Young Turks. No, I heard the audio, I saw the video. His uncle on the Young Turks was advocating for some bestiality. So there's something strange happening up in that family. But like Hassan's a fucking weirdo. But he commented on the Az's that I think that's the dude's name, heel versus babyface. His name's Az. He goes by Az. He commented on his stuff like Az is some kind of terrible, horrible, awful human being. I'm just like, bro, you have said some crazy shit too. So it's just like a lot of these people who are taking shots and making these jokes, they're like fucking weirdos too. They've said some weird shit too. And that's why at the end of the day, when it comes to the woke versus the anti-woke, I'm talking the extremist. I'm talking the extremist, all right? For both sides. The extremists. The extremists are two sides of the same coin. They're fucking crazy, all right?
Yeah,
and they freak out. You become so entrenched in this, right? That you jump. You know, you jump and you react in a manner that is unbecoming. Don't get me wrong, the dude got a lot of support as well. Like his people fuck with him heavy. But
Absolutely.
I personally was just like, bro, that's silly. That's a silly thing to freak out about. You can't claim that you're better in any sort of way and like you're so above it all and oh, these wokes get triggered by everything and then get triggered by a fucking they, them, she, her option, bro. Like, come on, man. So um they're super fake, man. All these people are fucking fake. So exactly. I'm sorry, but Hassan is absolutely said that 9/11 stuff on stream and live. He's fucking weird. He's a weirdo. He's a fucking weirdo, you know? So I don't know, man. Hassan is someone who said, yeah, Hassan, I don't even know if Hassan believes that himself. Dude, just be talking, man, in my opinion. But anyway.
Well,
we just
the
move
more
on
they
from
run,
that.
the more they run their mouth, the more they attract the people that they want to follow them. And I mean, it's kind of how it is. That's why they can go out there and say a blanket thing like that and kind of get away with it, because even if the mass majority of people like come down on them like hell on fire, it's still a good enough size of community of people that will support it. And it is what it is.
All right. Okay, so
Agreed.
There's a lot of
he
skeletons
said
in people's
Attack on
closets
Titan's a
out here.
mech anime?
Oh man.
Oh man, he definitely doesn't need to be speaking on anime ever again. Here, yeah. Let's see. It's all grifting, whether it's the right or the left. That's facts, man. It's facts. Why does he have an audience? I don't know. Again, I think his uncle's on the Young Turks, and they're super popular, right? Or they were
Yeah.
at some point.
But they were at
So
some point. I don't know if they are anymore, but yeah.
so it's probably it's probably nepotism. He's also, I mean, he's a pretty hot guy. I'm not gonna lie. Like he's pretty attractive physically. Now his personality, vile, but physically he's a good looking guy. So it's probably a mix of those two. All right. Okay, let's talk about. So I asked a question on Twitter. I said, "Hey, do you think the Bethesda's game design needs to evolve?" Right. Now I'm gonna keep it. Listen, be honest with y'all. I just asked this shit so I could have something to talk about for the show. Okay, like I just needed. I needed something to talk about. Okay, it was a dry as fuck week. And so I came through. Did I get a couple of bots in my replies? Being a little, being a little snippy, just a tad, perhaps. But I also
they're a bit sensitive.
just a little, no. But I also I'm keeping it real. I didn't read any of these fucking replies, man. I just retweeted them so I could read them now, so I could look at them now. You know what I'm saying? I read one reply. Somebody was like, "Does From Software need to evolve with their design?" Yeah, they were trying to get me in a gotcha. Bitch, I been said that From Soft needs to fucking evolve. So goodbye. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna catch me, bitch. All right. I don't deny reality. Okay. It's just not something I do. So anyway,
gotta love those whataboutisms. Like let me just ignore your question and just hit you with a whataboutism as if it's a gotcha or something. But what if that person agrees with it? What do you have left now? Nothing.
Exactly. Nothing. All right. So I said, y'all, do you think Bethesda needs to evolve their game design? So do you think their game design needs to evolve?
I love that. I love that GIF. Last was I saw that. I said, what is this GIF?
I love that. There's this guy I follow on Twitter. I think it's Ichiko Nigasake. And
what?
Listen. What? I was about to let it go, slow mo. I was like, what did you say? I heard a hint of a certain word.
Is what?
It's like that was. If that's not how you pronounce it, that was a great recovery.
I mean, listen, that's how you say his name. So,
oh man, leave it to slow to bring attention to it. I was gonna let it go.
I was like, wait a minute, hold on.
I said, what did you say?
I mean, it's a pretty insane fucking name. Shout out to him for loving Bleach though. But he posts this goddamn video with a question all the time, and it is always fucking funny. So so I got it from him. So shout out to him. So Nick, shout out to Nick. He said it did, but it did have a evolution in game design. I am using context clues to assume that's what he meant. But he said he's not ready to formulate an opinion about it or relay a structured opinion about it. So Ever says everything should evolve, but in the context of some of these articles have written about, no. Now, I haven't read any articles at all, so I don't know what he's referring to. Enrique's like, yes. Jess says no. Chicken Spaghetti says evolve, yes. Flat out change, nope. Sean says Bethesda is 20 years behind on gaming graphics updates, but the fans want more of it, so of course they're going to give them what they want. Don't complain now. These are the same ones saying Fallout 3 and 4 were a masterpiece. No one is saying Fallout 4 is a masterpiece. No one is saying that.
I've never
Fallout
heard that
3?
before.
Yes, but Fallout 4? Absolutely fucking not. No one's saying that. But good point as well. CJ says, yes, same way FromSoft and Naughty Dog need to evolve. It's cool to be great at their styles of games, but at some point you got to get more creative. Preston says, yes, they're not the premier RPG studio anymore. A DJ, okay, DJ Foster says, yes, I think we should all want that from developers. Yes. Ozzy says, no, I like Bethesda for what they are. There are many other RPGs out there with different designs and we're free to go play them. I want Bethesda games for a Bethesda experience. And yes, damn it, that also includes the weird ass bugs.
That's
Mars?
a weird take.
That's a weird take right there, bro.
Yeah, especially that last sentence. Come on,
The bugs? Okay.
I love that. That's the whole. It's charm. You know, like when someone else has bugs, he'd hate it. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Fallout 4 is good, but no one thinks it's a fucking masterpiece. I love Fallout 4. I got like 300 hours in there, but no one thinks that game is a masterpiece. I have never heard anyone say that game is a masterpiece. Okay, let's see here. Mars says they're trapped by their engine, something that happened with Square Enix until they created a new one that helped them make their games faster, make them look better. Look at Halo Infinite. They had issues with Infinite, and now behind the scenes, they've changed engines.
They ain't trapped in that engine. They decide to stay in that engine.
I think every developer should evolve, but if you're asking Bethesda's way of RPGs are outdated, I say no. Starborn says, I would say yes, but I would be lying.
Dang, look at that.
What? Already?
Almost
see, that's a gamer right there. That is a gamer.
That's 48 hours right there.
Danny says just a little bit. Black Dragon says, honestly, I like the way it is. Just some QLL. Quality of life, like remove loading screens. Now you specs. My question is, how do you evolve the Bethesda formula? I feel like people throw this around but don't come up with solutions. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
DJ says make it smaller and more refined experience than the massive do anything game, but
that's basically Obsidian at that point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, King J or J Main says engine does game design I think is good. Skull Mania says yes. Titan so Drago says the game design no, they're all great Bethesda games because of it. However, the game could stand to get rid of loading screens. It makes it feel last gen with the 30 FPS. OBM says some things have evolved, like the combat and animations. Other things are different. There's always room to get better, but until we have an actual competition in the open world AAA sandbox RPG space, Bethesda Game Studios should do Bethesda Game Studios. Texas says, when it does evolve, I don't know what I'll do. I'll never leave the house. Bad enough, their current model has me in a chokehold for hours on end and not even 25% complete the main storyline with over 72 hours played. Nice. Old Man Logan says, me personally, no. Their design and the way they structure their gameplay and quest lines is exactly what I want from them. We don't get Bethesda-style games every year, so to me, I'm not fatigued. I got 40 hours in Starfield and loving it. Vax says yes. Morty says yes. This guy's the one who asked me about the FromSoft formula. Mike says, I think they need to add and focus on points of interest button. Like when you're being told to pay attention to something an NPC is looking at, you'll get centered to its position. Lock-on feature, basically. JS says, no, I think they need a better engine, though. The level of detail they aim for does not justify 30 FPS. The game is great otherwise. Jeremiah says, yes, otherwise I'll never play them again. Anybody who says no got to be the most boring person on earth to really enjoy that gameplay.
Oh, my God.
I can't even name another AAA studio that has heavily praised with worse gameplay than them. Saber says, yes, I checked out of playing Bethesda games after Fallout 4. I have over 100 plus hours in the game. I tried, but I just couldn't do it after the Nick quest. Got it on Steam because, hey, maybe with mods it could be fun. It didn't help. It was so disappointing. Codweeb says, yes, in some aspects. I personally would like them to make the games a smaller, tighter experience that could be expanded on. This would solve a lot of the problems like needing segmentation and loading screens. Sycamore says, no, but them character models need an upgrade. Dante says, I just want them to have an updated enough engine to really make their games shine visually. Love Starfield's look of the world, but some character models are dated. Oz says that's what they are known for. Bethesda RPGs are standards, don't need to change to the formula. Maybe evolve with the times in terms of tech and animations, but story elements, world building RPG elements, no. Lon says, nope. I think their game design is extremely unique and worth preserving. Mav says it did with Starfield. Their combat is a huge leap forward for them. Obi says no. BK says it's the game fun to play. I believe as long as you enjoy the gameplay, it doesn't matter how it looks. Okay, Jill, is that what her
Wolf
name is?
Jilly Jill.
Yeah. Says yes, very much it does. Carlos says yeah, it's getting outdated. Jay Foreman says honestly no, it's their style and how it defines them, and it just works. Stone King X says it's Bethesda's identity. Ari says the problem with Bethesda is that they've been using a modified version of the same engine for 20 years. Only reasoning I can think of is because they want it to be easily edited and modified. Capcom uses the RE engine in most games, was easy to use and modify in my opinion. Pixel says it seems this seems like it's evolved and improved the formula 30 hours in, but EOD I expect a Bethesda game
End of the day.
to be a Bethesda game. Also love how they force the use of perks to improve perks. That's a great move.
Yeah, I like that.
Life Enjoyer says nope, they make the games I want to play. Fonzie says stylistically and mechanically not really, but on a technical engine level, absolutely. The fact is I don't mind them making the same kind of game because nobody else does it like they do and they don't come out as often. Kraken says no. Game design, Night Shiner says game design no, engine 100%. Deus Machina says maybe tweak, but change all overall. Now, Bethesda games are Bethesda games for a reason and have their own charm because of that. I do wish the RPG aspect was more fleshed out and had more choices, though. Faber says no, just like Rockstar doesn't need to evolve, just like Naughty Dog doesn't need to evolve. Studio DNA is very important to the games we play. Bethesda games have their own DNA, and that's what makes them great.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
Why do people keep referring to Rockstar and Naughty Dog as not needing to evolve when plenty of people have talked about their game designs and saying they need to evolve? Remember when Red Dead 2 came out and people was like, yo, these shooting mechanics are from GTA 4. Like you need to, GTA 5. Like, how is it that it's still this archaic? You need to fix this. Like, people go in on those game designs already, so it's just like I don't know why people keep doing this whataboutism that doesn't actually address anything. But go ahead.
Okay. What's up, Di?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hello.
What up, dude?
Hey.
Right. They could add. Bartha says they can add some quality of life improvements to their games. I'm fine with that, but for the core game design, leave it alone. Scarlet says their open worlds are absolutely the best. Only Elden Ring brought something new and exciting. Forward Pushin says, nah, I think the best thing they can do is improve the branching narrative to be more complex, some better reactive NPCs responses to certain situations, some better NPC and player animations, a more refined UI, like a mix between Morrowind and Skyrim. So, yeah, I think I got some great responses here.
Got some very good detailed ones, which are the ones
ones too.
Yeah, that I appreciated the most.
Yeah, I always appreciate when people can go into detail about why they feel one way or another. And this person's like, "What do you think needs to change?" No, dude, let's turn our brains on, man. Turn the brain on. You know, turn it on. Did I say that I think it needs to evolve? No, I asked a question. Fuckface.
Reading
anyway,
comprehension.
No. Yeses and nos and some really good points.
All right.
Can't disagree
Autumn
with.
says, I'd argue for them to stay with their shtick. Mechanically, no, but fix the things that are severely wrong with it. The NPCs characters are crazy. All right. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think that Bethesda needs to update their game design?
Oh man, I think
yeah.
I think everybody. No, I was about to say I think being a fan of something, I just feel like you should always want the said developer to push forward with game design. You shouldn't. I can understand the charm of what you like about games, but I always feel like there should be always something new and fresh breathed into whatever the next thing is. And I think a lot of people kind of look at it and they say, like a couple people said it, they said we don't get Bethesda games that often. And that is true. I mean, we haven't got a proper one since Skyrim, 12 years ago. I mean, so I
haven't gotten a proper one since Fallout 4.
Well, since Fallout 4, yeah, Fallout 4,
Fallout
yeah.
76.
Well, 76 is.
Well, I mean, just despite the
I know what
actual
you're saying.
launches of Fallout 76,
Yeah.
I mean, it was technically
Technically
a
a
Bethesda,
Bethesda,
proper
yeah,
game,
property.
right? And let's, I'll discount, Prey and Dishonored in them too.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. That's what I just think, since people don't play them or they don't get new experiences that often, it kind of, when it does come around, the little changes they do make are good enough for a lot of people to say, "Oh, I really like this about the world." And I just think that's kind of not the best way to look at it. It's
I'm gonna
nothing
keep it
wrong.
real with you. I watched this video, and
Which
two
one?
people, this video by Endymion, two people said they directly referenced Baldur's Gate 3 when disparaging Starfield. And I said this a few weeks ago. I'm like, dude, I think Baldur's Gate 3 is going to affect people's opinion on Starfield. And I definitely think it had a sway on a lot of the reviewers. You know what I'm saying? I think some of the reviewers had that taste of freedom, that delicious freedom
of something
of
different.
choice
Yeah.
with Baldur's Gate 3, and then they played Starfield, and that they are directly comparing the two games. I 100% believe
I mean, you can't help but do that. I mean, especially with the narrative that's around both of them, especially releasing on the same day for the full release of the game. And the hype that's been around Starfield, not only just the hype of it being, the next Todd Howard game, but the fact that it's Xbox's, next chance at basically changing a narrative. So now reviewers are super. I really truly believe that everything is just super hyper focused on Starfield. If there was a pebble out of place in Starfield that shouldn't be there, people are gonna let you know about it. You have people standing on planets and telling you that this is something completely different. And it's just that everybody's looking at this game for every little fault that it has, instead of, for me, I just enjoy the game. I go in, I play the game, I cut the game off, I do something else. I enjoy the game and I talk about the things I like in the game and the things I don't like about the game. But it's like, for a lot of people, that one the big back and forth is, I respect the people that are just saying, like the people that you said in your replies, the ones that gave like real honest feedback and said, hey, I believe this is great, but I think they should do this. I believe 100% they need to throw this damn Creation 2 engine away. They should have been threw it away, and moved on with something else, because I think that's the biggest thing that hinders them. Because if they was to update the engine and go in a different direction, that's when you will see a completely different game design. It doesn't have to change the overall harmony of what they normally put out for people, but it would give it a brand new, fresh coat of paint to build on top of. And then they could go and continue to keep doing what they're doing. But as long as they're, stuck where they are with this engine, I don't feel like they could ever go bigger than that, because it's the same thing. Lucas, well, this is my opinion. I don't know, because Deli, you're a developer. I look at this like I look at Bungie, because Bungie is stuck on the same engine that they are, and I feel like the technicalities of that engine stop them from growing that game to being more and more than what it is at this moment. And that's just my perceptive of, like, looking up from the outside. I definitely will acquiesce to you, because you know more about this than all of us combined on this panel.
I would say that, like, I don't know. The Creation engine is very specific to Bethesda, because that's just how they use that engine specifically because of how easy it is to make quests and to create content. So that's not an engine that they use, or the tools. I'm just going to say tools, right? The tools that they use are very specifically designed so that they can create games at that scale, at that speed, right? And so just moving to a different engine isn't going to necessarily work, because if they move to a different engine and say, let's say they just moved to Unreal Engine 5, right? That's, everybody knows that engine. If they just moved to Unreal Engine 5, but then they leave all of their tools behind, they could spend twice as many years making the
game,
game,
adapt it to the kind of game they make.
Because
that's true.
Whereas we can have a quote unquote uglier looking video game, right? I think Starfield looks fine, but quote unquote an uglier looking video game, but you can have everything that that they want in it at the speed that they are currently making it at, or made it at, right? So I think that that's just unfair assessment. But I do understand that as time goes, I'm in the boat as well too, that I think Bethesda should change their game design, or at least change the way they tackle their mission structures, their NPCs, their quest design, that kind of stuff. Because like the actual core experience of a Bethesda video game or a Bethesda RPG is quite wonderful, and I think a lot of people do love it. And I've had wonderful experiences playing Bethesda games in the last decade and more. I'm just saying that how many years are we going to be playing essentially Skyrim, right? Or Morrowind or Oblivion at this point? Because like, I don't know, for me as a fan and just as a, a consumer, I don't want to play Skyrim for another decade. I really genuinely don't want this to be 2035 and then, their new, Starfield 2 comes out and it's just Starfield 1 but bigger, which is great for people who love Starfield, but as a person who is here in the time that Starfield currently came out, and then a lot of people are saying, oh, well, Starfield is just Skyrim in space. And then, that basically just means that the last 20 years from Skyrim to, 2035, we're essentially playing the same game. And I think that a lot of consumers feel the same way, especially maybe on this panel as well, too. A lot of consumers feel the exact same way as me, where we play games because we want new experiences, and Starfield is a new experience. It is genuinely a new experience, right? Like, we haven't had one like this in quite some time. I think that No Man's Sky is the only one that's like really kind of in the same ballpark. And then I think the other one is Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous, but those are exclusive to PC. So they're not able to be played by I don't know how many Xboxes that are out there. Let's say 100 million, right? 100 million people who own consoles. So for the sake of the argument, I think that Starfield is fine. I think it's great, but I think Bethesda as a whole needs to do something this next decade, especially with the next Elder Scrolls game. Because if they don't, then I don't necessarily think that I don't think that they're gonna avoid all criticism anymore and going into this decade or going into the next decade, just because I don't think that the Bethesda messiness or whatever, quote unquote, is part of the charm anymore. I'm going to be honest with you guys. We don't have crappy game systems anymore. So we don't have really that many limitations anymore, right? Like the only limitations we have are what RAM right now, RAM and memory speeds. Like, I'm sure in the next couple of years, we're going to get rid of those as well too. We're going to have faster memory, faster, speeds or whatever. But I think that the hardware that we have is quite powerful, and I think that it's time to kind of really showcase that. But I don't think that we're going to showcase that if we have, the same fetch quests and the same kind of, Bethesda charm that we've had since 2008, 2011.
Okay.
Do you think that part of the reason why they continue to go with the same engine is that it kind of gives them a easy out on the optimization side of things?
Well, it's familiar,
especially on
right? Like, you
PC?
don't want to throw away all your tools, right? Like, let's say, I don't know. I don't really want to do
what I mean
metaphors,
by
but
that is when modders add in like this game released on PC with no FOV slider.
yeah,
Yeah,
which
like,
is
but
pretty
modders the
normal.
very next day, right? Like, that's like the most basic thing you can have on PC, and the very next day there was a mod for the FOV slider. There's a
Yeah.
mod for DLSS support. There's a mod to fix the textures. There's a mod for this. There's a mod for that within a week. And it's like, usually that's all the work that a developer has to do themselves when they launch a game and it's got issues. When they start like putting out updates and patches and whatnot, update, like freaking EA and Respawn, it's taking them 5 months to finally get Jedi Survivor fixed.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the reason why they won't go away from Creation Engine is that the foundation of it is what their modders already know. And it just makes it easier for them to release those games without having to do all the additional work post-launch that other developers have to do.
I mean, I'm sure that Todd is cognizant of that. I think that the modding community for what's it called? I literally cannot remember the modding tools for Bethesda games, but whatever they're called. They've been around since like 2005, so there is a huge community, and a lot of developers, in the industry started there. Actually, I spoke to one. I actually am friends with one. I spoke to one like a couple of weeks ago. I interviewed him and talked to him about stuff, and he said, yeah, he got his start modding, Bethesda
I think
games.
it's the Creation Club, but I'm not looking at the chat or anything right now. I'm doing something. I think that's what it's called, though. Someone correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. Thank
All
you.
is good. I'll find out in like 20 seconds. But go ahead,
Yeah.
Mo.
I think that like everyone else, I was kind of put off with them announcing they were still going to go with Creation Engine for Starfield and into the future. I don't really have a problem with Creation Engine as long as you update it for current modern standards. When you have the kind of issues that some people are seeing, or preferences of things they don't like to see with Starfield, and I'll use an example like the character models. Some of them are okay. It's like they have tiers. There's like the more important characters to the story that look decent, not great, but decent. But then just every other NPC or just even the people that you're fighting, like faces look crazy. You're having conversations with people. They're talking to the wall. They're not talking to you. It's just like, bro, I'm over here. Like, but for example, I met this girl, Andreja, whatever her name is, and I there's a particular part that happened, and then it like scared the crap out of me because as soon as that part was over, instead of her being at the normal distance away from me to speak to me, she was literally right in the screen. And I'm looking at like her throat and her mouth as she's talking, and it's just like the complete like switch of that made me jump I was in a horror movie or something, because I'm just like, what the heck? And it's like she literally talked to me like that the whole time. I was playing right before, whatever, a while ago, earlier today, and and there's another guy, Sam Coe, and he's interjecting in a conversation, and he's behind the wall. And so the game just showed the wall.
Listen,
and I'm just
it's
like,
part of the charm, like that guy was saying. Thank you.
It's no longer charming. People are just
right.
Maybe not to you, Slow-Mo.
It's 20 years too old of charm for me, personal opinion,
Right.
but I understand why people like it. It's just part of whatever. But I don't think that that's necessarily the engine that's like doing that. It's literally probably just the way they handle the tools, like they handle it. They say, like, this is probably super boring, but I see people in the chat like, oh man, this engine, blah blah blah, this and that, blah blah blah, this and that, and they're lazy and this and that. But the engine is just, again, a set of tools. So really what we're trying to say, or at least what I'm trying to say, is that to modernize the game, we just want the game to run and look and feel like it's a game from 2023, and not from 2020 or 2005. Because what ends up happening is that's probably what happens, is that you walk into the room, and then their animation timers and their quest line, and then if you step in this specific square, it'll send a code to an instruction to the engine and say like, hey, cue this, and then it'll cue that, and then the camera will swing around and zoom in on this in-game NPC or whatever. And that's that right there. That workflow, that pipeline is actually the problem. It's not the problem. The problem isn't that the NPCs, the NPC is standing too close to the camera and I can see inside their throat. Like, it's physically the instructions that are given to the engine, because how the quest is built, and how the tools are have been created to make this specific pipeline. And they actually need to just update the tools. They just need a Creation Engine 2, I'm sure, looks way better than the original Creation Engine, right? But
In
I think
ways,
that,
yes, like environments and
yeah,
like machines and details on people's clothing and stuff. All that stuff looks better. It's just
right. But if we look at a similar engine like the Decima engine, right, in Horizon, the original tool set that they used for Horizon 1 into Horizon 2, they still kept the same NPC dialogue tree. They still kept the same like procedurally generated audio mouthing, motion capture software. They still kept the same what's it called? They still kept the same quest design. They still kept the same like way
They
NPC
actually
spawn and
improved that.
stuff like that.
Hold on, they actually improved because Horizon Zero Dawn, people complained about the dead faces.
Yeah.
And just that the same way they complain about Mass Effect Andromeda's dead faces.
Right.
But Starfield has dead faces. No one, you're not supposed to complain about. But like when people complain about that about Horizon Zero Dawn, they made it so in Horizon Forbidden West that wasn't an issue. Like
right. They kept the same tools. They updated the actual tools.
Exactly. So that's what people want from,
and that's right. That's what people want.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of consumers, and I just think a lot of people come in and automatically blame the engine for that. The engine is, I mean, like it's just a tool set. That's all it does is it reads the instructions and it runs the tools. What we're complaining about is that their games just don't look and feel like they're 2023 because they still have the same BS from 2005. Right. And that's what I'm complaining about, and that's what you guys are complaining about as well too. Because at the end of the day, from Decimal 1 to Decimal 2 or whatever, Horizons 1 to Horizon 2, they said we're going to keep the same tools, but we're going to update them so that the mouthing is more accurate. And then they said, we're gonna, we're gonna swing the camera this way so the NPCs don't accidentally just get like lodged into the wall, right? Because they did, Horizon 2 fixed a lot of the camera issues that I had with the original Horizon. Right. But that also comes with memory speeds and a bunch of other things. So that's a layered and complex, solution as well too. That then they said we're gonna handle water differently. So now you can go swimming, and then they handled water in a completely different way. So they added more tools for that too. And that's what I'm just looking for, right? I'm just looking for better tools, updated tools, more modern and less messy. And then of course, on top of that, that will allow them to create newer and more exciting quest lines and stories and just better overall game design, right? Like having no vehicles in Starfield because Todd wanted exploration to be a part. Like, I understand what you're saying, Todd.
With a vehicle.
I understand what you're saying, Todd, but I'm not stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but exploration isn't even done that way. It's done through your menu,
right?
For the most part. So what's the difference?
And how was a vehicle preventing you from exploring? It's just allowing you to explore faster. Yeah. Go on now.
Oh yeah. So that's to me, that's all I have to say about your comments, Forte. But yeah,
no, you're just
to be super specific about it, right?
No, you're right. And like I said, the biggest thing is
I
just think
the detailed explanation.
Yeah, I just think I can only speak for myself. Like you're absolutely right in stuff you said. It just comes back to normally, or it's just assumed when you go and add another number. Like when we go from Unreal 3 to 4 into 5, we know there's pretty much new tools. And they updated tools.
So many tools all the time. Like,
that's what I'm thinking about when, like, I don't care 100%. If they stay in the creation engine. They can stay in it forever, and they can make it creation engine 8 at some point. It doesn't matter to me. My biggest thing is they add tools, but they don't update the old ones. So it feels like the game is the same. It's like the same slog that it was 10 years ago. And I think that's the thing that people are kind of frustrated with at this time.
Right. You nailed it. That's exactly the synopsis. That's exactly how it should be phrased. I think that's the best way to convey that information. Because I mean, look at the industry, right? Look at Call of Duty. Call of Duty has ran the same engine since Call of Duty 4. Yeah. But about, I think around Infinite Warfare, they updated the engine. They said, we're going to do an entire overhaul, right? So I spoke to a Treyarch dev a while ago, and he gave me the breakdown on how their engines work and stuff like that. But, he was like, yeah, so like when World at War came along, we added tools to be able to gib people, so blow off their limbs and stuff like that. And that was like the first time that was like blood and guts and gore and stuff like that. Then when we moved into 2015, they updated the engine, and they said, our code base is idTech 3. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ask idTech to update their stuff. And then, so they said, yeah, we have idTech 5 now. So they said, okay, cool. So we're just going to take the original Call of Duty engine and we're gonna just literally update the engine and rewrite a large portion of it. So now while it's the same name, it's actually a completely new engine because they redesigned the entire thing. And so that's why from like 2015 or like the newest ones, right? That's why like when like that Kevin Spacey game came out, it looked way different. Their facial animation everything looked crazy.
It looked good, bro. I
it looked
loved
very,
the way that
very
game
good.
looked.
Yeah, it looked
you see
awesome.
You can see the pores in Kevin Spacey's face in that game. It's crazy.
And that was their big jump, and that's what we're asking of Creation Engine, is to make that big jump and take out the old stuff and be like, let's actually make it new. You know, let's make it more modern instead of just, you know, adding a couple new tools on top of that.
Well, that's when they add the whole
lighting.
Well, that's when they add the whole modified, like how many times have they modified the Creation Engine? The two, they modified it heavily instead of just. I mean, I don't know how they would go about I don't know when it was. How it like I said, you don't know how many iterations or updates they need to make to just make it go to another number. Like it's just like with Bungie going from Blam when they were working on Halo
to the Tiger Engine,
to the Tiger Engine, which is just a modified.
Again, it's a modified version of the Blam engine.
Of the Blam engine. But it's like, and at this part now, we're sitting there like, okay, the Tiger engine is showing its teeth and their little dough now. So what are we going to do to move that forward? And like you said, I appreciate you giving the detailed analysis on how you said it, because now I know in my mind that, okay, it's these tools, the things that need to be updated, not just like the name is just another way of saying, oh, here's some shiny new tools to go with this. And we updated a whole bunch of old ones. But the thing is, like you said, inside the Creation Engine, we're getting new stuff, but none of the old stuff is being updated to kind of keep up with the new stuff.
Which
but that's what a game engine is. It's a collection of tools.
I understand not throwing out all your wrenches and stuff, because like, why buy new ones when you have the old ones that still work, right?
But most people don't have a garage full of old tools. And they're 40 years in. They would have probably changed out a lot of those tools by now.
Right, because you know, nobody's using wrenches from the 1940s anymore because they're made of bad materials or whatever, or they're just too small, right? You ever walk into your garage and you're like, oh, you do a home renovation, you're like, I need this ratchet or this wrench, and then you go find this wrench, and then you're like, my trusty wrench from when I was like 15 or whatever, like I picked up on the side of the highway, and then you go into your bathroom or whatever, then you realize your wrench is too small. So what do? You go get a new one, right? Like, or you go get one that actually does the job properly. And like, you can still keep the old one, or you can just not keep the old one, right? Or you can replace the old one, which is what we're asking them to do. Just replace the old stuff.
Well,
like, it's still a wrench, right? Like, it's still the Quest design system. Like, it's still the same Quest design system. We don't care about that stuff. That, I'm sure that's a entirely different thing. Just throw out the old stuff so that you can make new ones that actually look better and perform better, right?
How many dealerships can you walk into right now and say they're taking tires off with a 4-way? And not using an air compressor to do it.
Air compressor, right? It's the same. It's like, you know, it's the same. It's a tool, right? But the air compressor does it in 20 seconds, and they can do 40 cars a year or 40 cars a minute or whatever. And the 4-way is, you know, whatever it takes, you know, 2 people to do it.
Two people plus how strong are you?
I'm not very strong. You know, nobody's walking around with a tire iron no more, Forte.
Right. Exactly.
Sorry, I completely missed this super chat because I was not looking at the screen. But thank you so much, Gotham Guy. Appreciate the dono. Thank you, saying, surely you don't expect Microsoft to let Bethesda continue to make future games on the old engine. I think that they're going to let Bethesda do whatever they want.
Yeah, they're going to let Bethesda do whatever they want, because Bethesda makes $16 billion a year.
That's limited integration. You know, you don't go in and tell them you need a new engine, so make a new engine now. They do what they want.
You know, if you're a business, you know, and you know, you come in and say, hey, this is your expense sheet, hire 1,000 people to create a new engine, and then hire those 1,000 people and hire like assistants for them so that they can email back and forth with the people who are actually working with this engine, so that your engineers can make a new engine. And if you pay those 1,000 people about $85,000 a year, because that's the average salary of like a software engineer or more, right? Like $100,000 a year. There's no reason to spend like $10 million to create a new engine when your games still sell buku money. So how about you just don't do that, right? which is again, a business, right? Like, Todd's a company man,
Well, they tried to sell us on a new engine with slip space. And we saw how that happened.
Right. And sometimes making new engines kills studios.
Right.
I'm just saying,
or at least everybody that's at the executive branch of that studio.
yeah. So, as a person who worked at Ubisoft on a very specific engine, or the Disrupt engine, we don't use that outside of Watch Dogs. We have yet to use that in the game's been out 2 years now, maybe 3. Nobody has used that engine ever outside of that game franchise. So you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those, like,
a lot of people use what Snowdrop now over there, pretty much.
Yeah, they
Snowdrop
basically
is
did
the
Snowdrop.
yeah.
Right. So I'm as
The
a
Division
person
engine.
who's familiar with working with a very specific engine that has no use case outside of, like, its initial bubble. I understand why they use the creation engine.
I wish EA would understand that and stop making everybody use.
Well, they
Frostbite.
already stopped that, but it was a little too late. I mean, because they already
It's a little
pretty
too
much
late.
murdered BioWare by doing that. So yeah, now it's like, hey, you can use whatever you want now, even though you're almost finished with Dreadwolf, and that's still going to be on Frostbite. So
guess what? It was made for a shooter, and DICE created it. And I was like, if DICE can't even make this thing work when it needs to work at launch, how you expect the other people to do it?
I mean, it is. I mean, hey, it is what it is. It is what
DICE
it is.
Can't even get this thing to work. It took them years to get Battlefield 4 off the ground, like completely.
Yeah,
years.
Oh man, a single year in order to get the the Dragon's Tooth
the Dragon's Tooth DLC is where it literally turned around. I was like, oh,
they
this
revamped,
game is great.
They revamped the entire thing, and then they proceeded to do the same exact development pipeline and path with Battlefield 1,
Battlefield 1 and 5. It then still messed around with Battlefield 2042. And guess what?
Right.
Year later,
Battlefield 2042 did the same thing where the game is running an okay a year later. It's like, come on, guys, like, please don't launch products and then fix it a year later. We're tired of doing that, and the sales reflect that, because Battlefield 1 didn't sell as much, and then Battlefield 5 didn't sell even less, and then Battlefield 2042, I think they gave away for free pretty much like a couple months afterwards.
It's so pretty good just because it was it's so good out the gate just because it was
dead,
modern.
Bro. I have to turn on crossplay to get a game of
TDM
to play a game of TDM.
I'm always playing crossplay. You can play with us, Deli.
I can, but I'm just saying you shouldn't have to turn on. There should be enough player base to not turn on crossplay to play your game. And I physically cannot fill out a lobby in a team deathmatch, which is only like 30 people, without crossplay on. I think that's
sad. bots in the game.
Listen, man, that's because you're not playing. That's because you're not playing Conquest. Let's be for real.
I play Conquest.
You should have enough people.
Let's move on.
You should have enough people.
Yes.
You're right.
Playing your game. Yeah.
Yes, Luca, you may have your show back.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Slomo, do you have anything you want to add on your perspective of whether or not Bethesda should update their engine?
I just think that, like, some of the comments that people made weren't necessarily engine related, but more related to things that Bethesda has improved, but not improved enough to be considered great. For example, the combat, like, previous shooting elements in previous Bethesda games have been pretty bad, and in Starfield it's better, but it's not like Call of Duty or like you name a first-person shooter that's come out in the past 3 years, and they all have better gunplay than Starfield. But Starfield is better than, say, what we got from Fallout 4 or for any previous Bethesda games. So therefore, it's still decent. It's good enough, but it's like it's like I saw some of the replies to you saying, "Oh, well, they did evolve. The gunplay's better. The combat's better." I'm like, that's not evolving. I mean, like, it's improvement, but it ain't necessarily like keeping up with the Joneses here. It's not actually doing something that is what I would consider excellent gunplay. It's good enough, but it's not great. So I think they should continue to push that forward and not just do the minimum, because it just seems like they double down on what they're known for, which is the exploration and that level part of their game design that everyone loves, and everything else gets kind of just like a minimum upgrade. And it's time for more than just minimum upgrades in those areas that are weaknesses for you.
Facts.
All right, cool.
Yes.
Okay, let's see here. So Stephanie Sterling, of the Jimquisition, gave Starfield a 4 out of 10, which dropped the Metacritic score
Damn.
to 85. And
Oh,
people are
yeah.
pretty mad about it. What do you guys
Why?
think?
Man, that game.
I
Go ahead,
I
Slow-Mo.
I think someone who is openly biased and says that I am reviewing a game not based on the merits of the game, but because of issues I have with the company, should not be in Metacritic.
Facts. Craziness.
It's just, and I haven't cared about anything Sterling has had to say in years. I
Same.
remember first paying attention to the channel and go, oh, okay, that's a good point about microtransactions and monetization and how big publishers are awful. And then it's like the next video was like the same thing, just repeat it. And I was like, well, yeah, okay, you said you made that point, cool. And then it's just like after like the 5th video, I'm like, I already know what you're gonna say, so I have no. I'm not watching.
Yeah, I used to be sub to the Jimquisition, and I actually listened to Jim Sterling's podcast with Gavin and Laura. I believe there are their names, and I used to listen like every single week. Now, listen, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they had issues with Xbox, and they discussed that on the show as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, I'm pretty sure that Stephanie does like Bethesda games specifically, but yeah, like I said, for anyone in the chat who used to listen, I mean, I don't even know, but did anyone used to listen to the Jimquisition? Do you guys remember
I
the
remember.
issues they may have had with Xbox? 'Cause I think I remember them
thought-
talking
I have no
about that.
clue.
I thought they were blackballed by Bethesda at one point, but for certain, over the past year, I checked out their Twitter account, and they have been going in on Starfield for I guess for various reasons, where Sterling felt that Bethesda was not fair towards trans people, or something. But so
Wait, what did Bethesda do against
I have
trans
no
people?
idea, but I saw a screenshot. I think I sent it to you. A screenshot of like a part of Sterling's review that specifically spoke on like a comment made that they kind of deserve this kind of review based upon their views of something that they had done to trans people. So it's
That's
a
actually
biased.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a biased
definitely
review.
biased against
Yeah.
Bethesda, 100%, based on what you're telling me. Yeah, 100%. I think they're biased against it, and I think someone who has an open, like you said, like they openly admitted they're biased. Yeah, maybe their review shouldn't count. Yeah, I could agree with that. Yeah.
And then also because Microsoft owns them now, I believe back a while ago, Stephanie said that Microsoft like basically hated Microsoft because they blame Microsoft for introducing microtransactions into the gaming industry. So,
Microsoft?
right. I don't know. I don't get it.
Bethesda horse armor?
Yeah, but that was the very first one. But I don't know, maybe because that was on
Not in the
that was
horse
Oblivion,
armor.
which was exclusive to Xbox at the time. So
Yeah, weird. Look, I'm watching the review and I don't see anything wrong with it.
you don't see anything wrong with Jim Sterling's review?
No, she's Sterling's like, oh, the combat's fun. It's just more of a Bethesda game. I got attacked in the middle of a dialogue tree. Their structure, their world building, their quest design still the same as it always has been. Their terrains are barren, and unenjoyable to explore. The scale of it is actually quite impressive. But I'd rather have
okay, hold on.
But I'd rather have a smaller but subsequent denser experience. I'm 6 minutes into this review and I have no problem with what they're saying.
I hear what you're saying, but you have to also take into account comments they've made outside of just that video. That's like, I'm a known ageist, you know what I'm saying? So you guys would have to
Okay. All right. Well, is this to do with Sterling as a whole and just the whole context, the whole subtext, or is it just the review? Because I'm a little
I'm talking
confused.
about Sterling as a whole.
Okay. Well, just isolating it to just the review. I mean, it's a review's an opinion. I don't know why people are so mad about it. You
No,
know?
I hear what you're saying, and I
Is it a
agree.
4 out of 10?
It is just an opinion,
Is it
and
a
I
4 out of
don't
10?
care
I mean,
that
I don't
Stephanie
know.
gave it a 4. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm just
Yeah, I
doing
don't
this
care.
to have a topic for the show.
I don't care. A 4 out of 10 is
But
just
like
below mid.
I'm saying that I think Stephanie has a bias against Xbox and Bethesda, and Gregor's like they're the ones who. Oh, what's up, Thrash? How you doing, baby boy? But anyway, Gregor said Microsoft was the one who had the idea about the horse armor pricing. All right, that's fair. But yeah, no, I'm saying Stephanie like as a whole, like as a person.
Okay, with
You
the
know what I'm
entire
saying?
context.
Like
Yeah,
the
I don't.
entire context. It's like
I haven't
again,
looked into it.
to use the dreaded analogy, you guys know I'm an ageist. If I speak positively about young or old people for one episode, does that change my past comments? No.
I mean, to be fair, I understand that Bethesda hasn't earned many good graces this last decade with its fans and its predatory business practices.
Yes.
So I can understand
What's up, CJ?
what's it called?
Reluctance?
Yeah, the reluctance to believe it nor trust the entity in itself.
I don't trust. Listen, if you have admitted a bias for or against something, my interest in your opinion and perspective can be swayed one way or another, depending on if I like what your bias is. Honestly speaking, because at the end of the day, you know, we all have we all have viewpoints and perspectives that lean one way or another. Now, some people have the ability to take a step back and say, hey, you know, even though I feel this way, generally speaking, I can acknowledge that this person has some good points here. Now, if Stephanie is just offering their perspective and giving valid points, points that you feel are valid in the review, I think that's fair as well. But again, I also think that it's fair to acknowledge that she has a bias against Bethesda and Xbox. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And for someone in the chat, I don't know who it was, I don't remember, apologies, who were like, what about all those positive reviews from the Xbox sites? Obviously, they're going to give them positive reviews. They have Xbox in their name. Let's come on now. Come on. Let's turn this on. Stephanie is not associated with PlayStation or Xbox. That's where the issue, quote unquote, issue lies. You know, it's not a brand association there, so you wouldn't expect certain behavior. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the outlet as a whole, you know? Now, I can use Alana Pierce's example. First of all, I watched Alana's video. I was like, girl, slow news week. Like, why are you like everybody knows AP is a fucking troll, you know? So I don't even know why she made a video about that dude. But I watched it and he like was tagging her bosses like she's enjoying the game. Like they don't know she's fucking playing the game. Like that's different. She's an individual, you know what I'm saying? And she's not the head of the fucking corporation. So she can say whatever as long as it's nothing too crazy, right? But like if they're literally using the name Xbox in the headline and in the news site and then giving a 10 out of 10 review, like come on now. I think there was an Xbox site that gave Halo Infinite a 10 out of 10 and they had like Xbox in their name. I can't remember which site it was though. So it's just you just expect
Xbox
these
era?
things. Oh, was it them? Yeah. So
Maybe.
you expect these things from people who literally have the name Xbox or PlayStation in the fucking name of the site. You know what I'm saying? So Singer, is that you? Who is that?
What's up, buddy?
That is me. Hello.
Okay.
Hey,
all
what's
right.
up, mate?
You gotta come in here with your actual name or at least not change your fucking icon. I was like, who the fuck is this?
Whoops.
Sorry, Gas. That's your boy Gas Giant, bro.
All right. Singer, how you doing, buddy?
I'm feeling feeling not too good, but we're getting there.
Oh, I'm sorry you're
I'm
not
sorry to
feeling
hear
well,
that.
man. If you gotta dip out early,
No,
all
no,
good. Don't even worry about it.
I just recently woke up because right now we're stuck in like this. They call it a Saharan plume. Basically, a whole bunch of heat came over from Africa. But the worst, it's not the heat that's the worst part. It's the dust. Like the entire air is just full of dust, and it's horrible. So of course, everyone's feeling a bit off. So Even my friend ain't eating properly, so it's kind of it's getting terrible right
sorry
now.
to hear that. Real quick, guys, please hit the like button. I would be much appreciated. Got to get the video out, the algorithm and stuff. Sorry, yeah, man. I'm sorry that you're not feeling well. Drink some water. Again, if you got to dip out, don't even fucking worry about it. It's just we're just talking about Starfield and shit. Like, do you have any viewpoints on Stephanie Sterling's review dropping the Metacritic to 85?
The worst part is, if I rewind 10 years ago, it was for Stephanie Sterling's, like for the whole channel and everything. It was a fantastic time.
Okay.
Because it was roasting both sides. It was attacking all the fanboys. But for some reason now, it's the whole publication's developed a bias, and I don't know where it comes from or what it is, but absolutely despises Bethesda. Something must have happened along the line for the hate to exist. But every time Bethesda releases a game, it always comes back to this cycle of whatever.
Really?
So when I saw the review 4 out of 10, it didn't surprise me. I was like, okay, it makes sense. I don't know why it changed the score so badly. Was it teetering? Because I wouldn't have thought it would have had much weight, right? In Metacritic, it's not like it's GameSpot or IGN.
Yeah, I hear you on that, but the Jimquisition is still highly respected and popular, so it makes sense that it would have that kind of weight as a review. I'm looking at this video that Stephanie released in July 17, 2023. I think the issue that she has with Bethesda and ZeniMax is that it has to do with a trans employee, something to do with them not being some bad behavior there. So that
Okay.
might be the explanation as to why she's got an issue with them. As a
But
whole.
again, this kind of goes back to what I'm saying. Like you can have issues with a developer on their practices, their all that other stuff. But what does that have to do with the actual game? Is the actual game really a 4 out of 10? Like most games that get a 4 out of 10 is like it's a broken mess. Like that
like a Turnite,
the Schmeagle game,
the
that
Golem,
Lord of the
yeah.
Rings Schmeagle game
That joint should be
out.
lower.
Yeah, that thing was like a 3 or something. It deserved that because it was a broken piece of garbage. Like, is that Starfield has got its bugs, but it's not that. It's just you whenever you take your personal biases and then apply it so openly to how you do your job, and then it also is affecting how other people like that's I think Metacritic should remove the reviews from affecting the scores. But if Metacritic did that, the response would be, oh, you are hurting someone of that community, therefore it would be a whole backlash thing. So nothing's ever going to happen to Sterling, honestly.
I mean,
they wouldn't remove the review regardless. So
yeah, I don't think anything's gonna happen regardless. I think the 4 out of 10 is gonna stay, and it is what it is. Like, I mean, whether or not you believe that the 4 out of 10 is like, their actual feelings, or whether or not it's like a 6 out of 10, but then dock 2 points because of personal bias or whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, does it really necessarily matter, right? Like, boo-hoo, it dropped Starfield down to 85. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think it's really that big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal.
People
but it's
act like
funny.
85 is like people act like 85 is like a 60, less than that. People act like a 85 is like a 3 out of 10 or something like that, right? Like, I mean, I have this conversation all the time. Like, how many 4 out of 10 games do you actually play in a span of a decade? Because I could name you, like, Metacritic wise, if Metacritic somehow matters now, right? I can name maybe 3 Metacritic games that have scored under like a 50 in the last decade.
Oh Christ!
So I don't understand why people act like an 85 is bad.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, honestly, I don't understand your confusion. It just has to do with the console war.
Oh, I know. It's just like I just don't get that either. I just don't get that shit.
I mean,
I
yeah,
just
it's
don't
just
get
console
it.
war stuff, honestly
It
speaking.
is
Everybody
what it
was
is.
regaling, I mean, even here on the panel, everyone said, well, not, no, yeah, mostly everyone said that the game was scored in like the 90s and such, right? So everyone was expecting it to be low 90s, mid 90s, you know what I'm saying? So that's why people are, they see an 85. 85 is an excellent score, and it's in line with Fallout 4, the last game that released officially. So it's just like, it's fine. Like, the score is great, but some people wanted it to be higher, just so, especially the Xbox guys, so they could finally take a W
They can
somewhere.
finally take a W. Well, like,
Um,
didn't they have Forza Horizon
yeah, but
a
Forza
couple years ago?
always does well, so it's
Oh,
Forza. Halo, Gears, and
it
Forza.
doesn't count.
I mean, it doesn't count to the ponies, so
I get
that's
Halo,
why.
Gears, and Forza. Halo,
okay, my
Gears, and
fault.
Forza.
Like, again, it's like last week we discussed this, or maybe it was last week we did discuss it. Regardless of how we may feel about it, Metacritic matters to the industry, so it is what it is.
100%. Yeah, it's never not going to.
Yeah, I just had a wild thought.
What's your thought?
Xbox might be able to get a three-peat this year of good games. Hi-Fi Rush came out to a good meta. Starfield came out to a good meta. Redfall didn't, but okay, that's
Are you about to say? You're about to say Forza?
Forza Motorsport hits a good meta score, which it should. I see no reason why it shouldn't be a good meta score. Like, Forza not hitting a good meta, I will be shocked. So you'll have a three-peat.
We'll know on Tuesday when all the
Tuesday is when the scores drop, do they?
Well, the hands-on impressions from people that have been playing it for the last couple of weeks come out that day, plus the return of Forza Monthly is coming, so they'll be talking about a lot of stuff about the game that day too. So we'll get a lot of information on that day on how people felt about it.
Forza Monthly is a good show. Watch it if you like Forza.
Oh, I love Forza Monthly. Yeah, can't wait for Motorsport.
All right. Well, was there anything else that happened this week that you guys would like to discuss?
Oh man.
Anybody in the chat? You guys, there's some spooky stuff that happened, but I don't know if we want to talk about that.
What? What you talking about? What's spooky?
It's not gaming related.
Oh, I know what's spooky.
Okay.
It's the Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher stuff.
Oh,
what's up, Julian?
That is.
They just published an apology, right?
I know that shit was trash. You guys hit the like button.
Was that really an apology?
Oh man.
They were being held at gunpoint, dude.
Basically,
it looked like they were, like, just from the screen cap, it looked like they were hostages.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, dude. And also someone had noted that Ashton and Mila's tonalities didn't even fucking match up for the apology. They should have practiced before recording the video. But
I mean, you're supposed to be actors. You can't even act.
Oh, man.
You can't even act.
Here we go. Interesting.
Sorry, or at all, or can't act, be believable. Maybe that's why neither of them have been in any movies recently.
I mean, they're also older. Maybe they're just focused on dealing with their family, man. I don't know. Let's see here. Content. Comments here. Okay, let's look at the channel member stuff. Yeah, man, yeah, they're fucking idiots, in my opinion. They should have never sent that goddamn letter of support.
Yeah, what the fuck,
They're
man?
fucking dumb. They're dumb. They didn't know that shit was gonna be public record. Like, be for real, man. Yeah. It's some crazy shit that happened. Yeah, okay. Nothing happened during the week. Nothing you guys want to talk about in the chat? I'm asking anybody in chat. Anything you want to talk about before I switch to channel member topics? All right. Anybody on the panel? Anything you guys want to talk about?
I'm good.
No,
Gotcha.
I'm good. Oh, good.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just sorry I showed up late, but happy to be here. Happy to hang out.
You're good, man. One Piece live action. The One Piece live action is fire so far. Go watch. Let's see here. The lock picking is terrible. In Starfield, I fucking agree. Those evil bastards being mean to Alana Pierce for playing Starfield. She'll be okay. My knee hurts this week. Let's graph about it. Do some light stretches.
You know what's funny about that Alana Pierce thing? Is they tried to report to her boss, who is Corey Ballard. He said he's playing Starfield and enjoying it. So what are you going to achieve? Come on now. Even Corey is playing it.
Exactly. It's just, I mean, again, it's AP. He's the troll. That's like, we know that the dude's a troll. And Mila Kunis I think she's a good actor. I like her as an actor. Ashton, I feel like Ashton kind of got typecast. No, that's not true.
No,
That's
because
not
I saw
true
him in
because-
Vengeance recently, and
Yeah.
he was okay. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's not. I remember him. He was also, he was in The Butterfly Effect, right?
Yes, he
Yes.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, he was
That was
great
a
in
good
that
movie.
movie.
Yeah,
That was
he was
a
good. No,
fantastic
he was
movie.
really
So
good
never
in that one,
mind.
yeah.
I think they're both good actors. They're both
Yeah,
good
they're
actors.
good. They're fine.
They're just, I don't know what the
They're
hell's
just
going on.
dumb.
They're just dumb.
They're
Who's
just
more likely to
dumb.
hit a curb, Luca driving or slow-mo walking? Well, I have a pillow now to sit on when I'm driving, so I can see over the steering wheel. So I say slow-mo is more likely to hit the curb.
Oh, 100%.
Oh man,
Just like
I don't
walking and
disagree.
then just give out, you just fall over.
Luca just won.
Like,
I don't
Alright.
disagree.
Okay, so shout out to Sir X-Man saying Starfield is a different type of game for Bethesda. They always say you should embrace the new. They're doing something different. Enjoy it. Okay, thank you. Lionel
yeah.
says, I played Baldur's Gate on PS5. It's amazing and it controls better than Divinity Original Sin on controller. I definitely fucking believe that.
I think
definitely
anything
believe that.
controls better than Divinity Original Sin on
Yes,
controller.
sir.
Yeah,
I
like
personally-
that.
I think
it
yeah,
does. I think it does because the controls just feel a bit more smooth than Divinity. Because I played Baldur's Gate 3 with controller, and obviously
fine, yeah, it's
Divinity.
great. Baldur's
like
Gate 3 Game of the Year.
Of course,
Yeah.
you
solid.
already know.
Yeah,
But,
you already know.
Singer, that's an interesting perspective there.
What?
You said you already know about Baldur's Gate 3. What weren't you saying it was too niche a month ago or something like that? Or was that a different game? Can't remember.
Uh-oh.
Different game.
was
That was
Armored
Armored Core.
Oh,
Yeah.
Armored Core.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, if you're
Okay,
gonna
okay.
try and get a
Shit,
gotcha,
That's
if you're
I
gonna
tough.
try and
wasn't
get a
getting
gotcha,
it. I said I
Shit,
couldn't
right,
remember.
boy.
I was
No,
asking.
buddy.
right, boy?
I
That's
think
tough.
you
Yeah.
what?
Arbor,
Yes,
I
wait.
don't think Arbor Core 6 should be Game of the Year, personal opinion. But if it gets nominated, it gets nominated.
I think it'll
Congrats.
get nominated.
Really? I don't think it
Yeah.
would.
I
Mario
don't
Wonder.
have any updated thoughts on Starfield, and we discussed that earlier throughout the show. So I don't have. I need to play more of the game before I have a full opinion. And then, what's your favorite dessert? I prefer ice cream. It's from Meat Puppet. My favorite dessert, I love vanilla cake with strawberries, fresh strawberries, right, and whipped cream.
I love key lime pie. It's the best.
Oh
I
man.
love cheesecake, even though I'm not supposed to.
Cheesecake
eat it.
rocks. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Rock.
cheesecake.
Yeah,
Cheesecake
cheesecake's
is so
awesome.
universal.
Go to
you can
Cheesecake. I can't
Oh, wow.
decide between caramel cheesecake or strawberry cheesecake.
Yeah.
Strawberry cheesecake is good.
cheesecake
All
is
cheesecake.
so good.
All,
Shit,
yeah, all of it
anything
is
with the
so
word
good.
cheese and cake
Yeah,
in it is
cheesecake.
good.
Oh man.
See, the thing is, it's so universal because you could throw any flavoring in there and it works. So you're like,
Yeah, true.
I want an apple cheesecake. I want
I had
a
a
whatever
lot-
cheesecake.
I had a key lime pie cheesecake.
Oh,
I was
my
like,
God.
What? I was like, what
Divine.
is this? I was
Sublime.
like,
So
what is
good.
this green goodness? So good.
Oh, Lord.
You all right?
Yeah, well, yeah,
you're good?
Look,
All
right.
water went down the wrong pipe.
I don't know.
All right. So, yeah, that's it. I guess that's it for the show. I can't think of anything else I'd like to discuss as of this week. Hopefully, something interesting happens this week in the space. Oh, you know what? That's not true. I did ask people. Lord have mercy. Hold on. Let me look through these replies.
You checking Twitter? Yeah.
Yeah. This week. Okay.
Starfield.
The next
I
generation.
wish Starfield was co-op.
It would be cool. It would be cool.
That'd have been so cool.
I
Right.
mean,
Let's see.
they might
here.
make a mod.
I
Alright,
have
so-
a
That would be
theory. So ZeniMax Media is making a online another MMO or online multiplayer game.
Yeah.
What if they already have a a online multiplayer game for Fallout. They got one for Elder Scrolls. What if that ZeniMax Media game that hasn't been announced yet is like Starfield online or something?
That would be cool.
That'd be kind
That
of
would
nuts.
actually be
I
sick.
would-
Being able to
I
fly
would-
through.
Yeah,
I would be seated. Yeah, I'd be
Yeah, I think a lot of
I'd be
people
down
would
for
enjoy
that.
that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I asked people this week. Go ahead, Singer.
I would definitely board Deli Shipper.
Yeah,
Oh,
oh,
that's
100,000%. Yeah, I would definitely harass you online.
I
Yeah.
would definitely kill you and take your shit. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I
okay.
wouldn't even think twice about it. I'd see you and I'd see
Mhm.
red.
Okay. So I asked. I was like, "Can you guys give me some? Tell me what happened for the gaming news." Crispy says just Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield. There's some Switch 2 rumors. Okay. Review bombing for Starfield. Okay. Enrique sent me. He said the non-endemics trying to break into games. Oof, Enrique, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't care for large companies, and nor I'm gonna sit here and talk about it.
I definitely appreciate it, but that's not my scene. Reed Pop and ESA ESA part ways over E3. Okay.
Boo.
Okay. Review bombing, Baldur's Gate Switch 2, GTA 6 that costs 150. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Even if that joint did cost 150, people would buy it. Okay.
That should
People
do
would
it
be like,
numbers. I don't care.
They would buy it
Doing
regardless.
numbers.
They would buy that. They would buy that shit regardless. So there's
Yes,
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, there is nothing going on. I'm looking at these replies. Nothing. No, there's nothing
Nothing
going
exciting. Nothing
Okay.
exciting this week.
Sly was like, "Where's your panel? Don't forget Jedi Survivor is fixed, and RDR3 is planned to start development soon." And I said, "Panel," and then people want to buy Spider-Man 2 more since it announced to treat yourself to the 19 inches of Venom. Yeah, I saw Miss Autumn's response to that. She also liked this post that put some spooky shit on my timeline, which is okay. We all are into different things. All right, shout out to her. Shout out to my girl, man. But yeah, no, okay. I looked at replies. Nothing happened this week. Okay, cool. We can get out of here. Thank you so much for coming through, Singer.
Yes, sorry I'm late. It's
No
I
worries, man.
recently woke up and then I was like, I'll hop in and chill for whatever's left.
Well, I missed you. I haven't talked to you in a while.
I haven't talked to you in a while, although you were very cute in the picture with Luca.
Thank you. You were so much
I
fun.
fucking yes, me and Di met.
Oh man, what a time.
That was great. We went to go get lunch together and we just chilled and talked. It was great.
Yes. She had an immaculate fit on. It was wonderful.
Yes.
It was very
Oh my God, thank you.
it was wonderful. Very workwear.
Yes.
Practical, utilitarian.
Yes. All right. But yeah, it was great. Other than that, yeah, nothing.
Yeah,
really
nothing
happened.
exciting. I mean, it's the normal weird little drama stuff, but yeah, it was fun.
All right, thank you for coming through. Thank you to everyone who listened to me ramble for like 40 minutes by myself. I do appreciate it. Let's do these channel members and then hop on out of here. But yeah, some weirdo is like mad at Cassie on Twitter, and I replied, I was like, bro, why are you getting triggered? Like, relax. You know what I'm saying? People gotta relax sometimes. Okay, that's coming from me. I understand deep emotions. Okay, all right. So shout out to Lionel. And shout out to Bari, Sir X-Man, Mr. Dolo, Jarrell, Dave, MJ, Outlaw, Mike, Iman, Stankma, Damien, Tevin, H-Dog, Dirk, King Metrochan, Meat Puppet, Scroat, Phil, DQ, John the Don, Smokes, Lord Jorinza, Stardust, Risk It, Stone, Starbuck, Kenny, DC, Big Daddy, Smitty, El Huito, Subnegro, Yobi, Jazzy, Dominic, Sir Duck, Sycamore, Zion, Danelle, Breesky, Corey, Light Strife, RK, Pepitio, Nautical, Jet, Brandon, Envy Dub, Slow-Mo, and Hannibal, being members of the channel. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you to Super Chat support. And yeah, you guys have a good one. Okay, Di, thank you for coming through.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Sorry I came in a little late, but
No, you're fine.
I work and errands and stuff like that. I was like, oh my God. then I was like, oh, I'll be able to wrap up and or whatever and show up by 8 o'clock, I think. So yeah, I'm glad I made it. It was nice to be able to catch up with everybody, and of course, Forte and Mo and Singer, always a blast with you guys.
Indeed.
All right, Nautical.
Yo, great show. Shout out to Deli, shout out to Singer coming through, the homie Slow Mo, and the lovely Luca. Guys, have a great weekend. Working on a football season's here, man. I love football, so we're gonna be talking.
Lord.
I'm doing we're trying to do a podcast on Mondays talking about this. So
that sounds like it would be fun.
I'm gonna try to get some people together to see if we can talk. You Slow Mo, I know you down for it.
Yeah, I'm about to say you better.
Well, you already know you're gonna be one of them. So yeah, anybody's gonna be interested in it. I'm thinking we're gonna do it like on a Monday, right before, sometime before, Monday night, the football game, and talk about stuff that happened on Sunday, because football is amazing, and we definitely got to get that, get our thoughts out there. So more information on that later. Just got to get to see who all wants to do it. So if you're interested, come subscribe to the channel, Gaming Forte. We're gonna have fun over there talking about it.
All right, sounds good. Slow.
Great show, guys. Check out DPS podcast last Thursday on Forte's channel. We had a great time with Randall Thor, Still Rain, and Creative Kofi. It was a good show. Good conversations about all the various topics and stuff that's going on. Enjoy your games. Enjoy your weekend.
Yes, sir.
All righty. Thank you for everyone in the chat. Have a good one. Maslin, shout out to the brother Maslin. Love you guys. And yeah, we'll catch you for another one. Let's see here.
I got a question. Singer.
Yeah.
That icon that's on your profile, can you land on that planet in Starfield?
You can explore it. Actually, it's
Can you explain? Can you explore that planet?
It. We need a technical.
Yeah,
Okay.
Can you explore that planet, sir?
No technical. I'm ending the show. Goodbye.
So actually, yes, you can. I even built an outpost on there.
Oh,
It's called